Hi, it's time for Good Energy, and I'm Dr. Julie. And today is Bodyful Day 82, and we are on Breath Day 5. How to breathe into, how to improve your breath, your sinuses, and your head. So, there are no props today, as yesterday. We are just going to be breathing and working on our bodies. So let's go ahead and start. Take a deep breath in and release. Think about that cerebral spinal fluid pump. Think about breathing into your sinuses, into your lungs, and into your sacrum. Take a deep breath in and release. And think about anything you were into today. Today was one of the 6 brilliant Iowa days where the humidity actually stayed low and you could keep the windows open when it was above 80. So I almost forgot about this video. So I don't have a lot to breathe into, but I'm going to breathe anyway. Breathe in. And release. Loving that sinus breathing day. That is what we're working on. So you will recall that we did 3 areas of breath that actually should move while you breathe. We did the belly and the back. We did the sinuses, and we did the sacrum. And yesterday, I talked to you about how to go in and push right next to your sternum and down and around your ribs to help you get a bigger breath into those lungs. Now, as you might suspect, if I told you we can breathe into our lungs, we can breathe into our sinuses, and we can breathe into our sacrum, we can also do the same thing with our sinuses, with our head, and our sacrum. Now, this is an incredibly useful technique. Not that this isn't, because if you've got a bad rib in the back, holding on to something in front and breathing and making the pain go away is totally awesome. But if you have a sinus headache, if you have a migraine or a headache there, these are all great techniques to help reduce the pain. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't also do what you normally do, consult your doctor, all of these other things. But if you are breathing into your head, breathing into those sinuses, and you've got a headache, or you breathe in and you're just like, things just don't feel right, then strangely enough, just like holding into our chest, there are places that you can hold into your head. But one of the cool things is that you got to kind of know a little bit about the flow of the cranials. If you talk to an anatomist, they will tell you that the cranial bones don't move. That's not right. Cranial bones do move because they have to move in order to make a cerebral spinal fluid pump. So your temporal bones, when you breathe in, they kind of do ears. They kind of do suicide doors on a car. And back in. Suicide doors that kind of twist. And back in. And I'll give you just the 3 major ones. Your sagittal suture opens up, which is the line that runs across the top of that, well, it doesn't go that far. It goes from there to there. It opens up when you breathe in and goes down when you breathe out. The occipital bone in back doesn't necessarily move, but it moves in at the base and then moves out when you breathe in. Or it moves out when you breathe out, but it can also go right or left. So sometimes I'll tell people to pull one way or pull another way while they breathe, and that helps with the cranials there. The last one is the sphenoid, and the sphenoid is a double-winged bat. That's the best way to describe it. It's got bits of wing that come out here, 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 and in the inside of your roof, in the roof of your mouth. You can think of those as long tails of the bat wing. And those go back, and then they come forward as you breathe in. So they go back, and then come forward. They go back, and then come forward. And you can find spots in here to kind of go up or back or up or down. And so there are, I would say about 10 different places that you can hold. So you've got sinus places that you can hold while you breathe. You've got the top of the head. You've got these bones here that you can shift back and forth like you're wearing headphones. And you got the bone in the back that you can tip back and forth. And so if you have a headache, if you have sinus issues, if taking a deep breath in, you're like, yeah, it kind of hurts right there, then while you take that breath in, just put your finger there and see if it helps it. If you can breathe in better with your finger there, then do that for a couple of breaths. Don't push real hard. Just kind of hold it. And do it a couple of times. If you've got that killer headache that's sitting here or here, then find these little divots, the divot at the end of your brow bone, the divot at the end of your cheekbone, and push that way as you breathe in and see if it feels better. If not only do you have a headache, but the top of your head hurts, you can breathe and pull those sutures apart. And that is helping that head open up. Or if you've got a headache that's on one side or a headache that's on the other side, you can breathe in and kind of turn, like you're turning the lid of a jar. Back, forward, back, forward. You don't want to do these really hard. Cranials move terribly easy, and in fact, in one approach to chiropractic, cranial bones can adjust with putting your hat on backwards or strangely, or wearing a hat that's too tight. I've also learned from practitioners who say you can totally pound on the head and it's fine. I'm just asking that you just kind of try to see if you can just shift a little bit and see if you can breathe better, or if your headache or sinus pain goes away. Because if you are just out a little bit in your sinuses and in your head case, that if you can just kind of push a little bit in a couple of places and find which one feels good, then it's actually pretty valuable. I usually start out, if I've got a headache, I'm usually poking and prodding and, just figuring out where I can push to make things better. And that's one of the first things I do. But I can also do it if I'm not breathing right. Like if I've got a sinus congestion because I got a cold. What isn't moving? What isn't moving? And strangely enough, breathing into your sinuses, you can move them by, remember, you got a sinus here. You open up that head case the way it's supposed to, and all of a sudden this air just goes into the head. It's really wonderful. All right. Today was a little bit more like yesterday, which meant I threw a lot of stuff at you. But go ahead and rewatch it, and maybe just keep it, put as a tab in your videos, so that if you do get a headache, this is something, or sinus blockage or sinus headache, these are things you can do when you're just trying to breathe. All right, let's finish off with good breaths. Take a deep breath in. And release. All right, have a wonderful Saturday. Tomorrow is Sunday. We are going to talk about breathing into your sacrum. And we'll talk about a little bit sacrum, low back pain, and how making that cerebral spinal pump, that Lego car move, how you can hold points that'll make that easier tomorrow. All right, take care. See you tomorrow.